Dawson Rider Wiki.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here, and welcome to my review for the deluxe KishiRyuOh 3-night set. So you can buy these individually because this is kind of like the main quote-unquote mecha, you know, because he's the large-scale one that can become his own, and then these individually, but this is kind of the more traditional 3 set of, you know, kind of like Kyoryugers basically. You get your 3 Ryusouls here. Real quick before we dive in, I'm going to do a quick cutaway to checking out the box, just because I always like to do that at the beginning of the year. Real quick look at the box. It's obviously got big Kyoryuger energy. I was really happy to get the combined set because I love the box art where you have the whole mecha on there instead of buying them all individually. But super cool. You have the main 3-night formation there, the 3 core Zords. You have the 3 core Rangers that make up this formation. Shows you the 3 Ryusouls it comes with. Shows you a bit more of them individually, both cases. And on the side, you know, it shows them combining what they do. Here's the alt modes. Spoiler alert. Hey, here's the Ryusouls. Hey, look, buy our other stuff because it works with them. Capitalism. And then on the back here, like, hey, look, it's a super cool Lego system. So this is going to be fun. And then it shows you, you know, again, the other formations. I'm going to be doing a couple of these in the review. There's a couple different weapon formations of T-Rex I probably won't show off, but basically ton of playability. Just wanted to show it off, even though it is basically Kyoryuger 2 Electric Boogaloo. It's still a neat box. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, let's take a look at the Ryusouls first. Unfortunately, my changer got separated from this in shipment, so you're going to have to wait to find out the sounds for these for that review, but I'll link it once it's up, and I'll go over the sounds for these in the changer and the sword and all that stuff. But yeah, these are basically Ranger keys, like a new kind of Ranger keys. You can even see right here, it's a very similar type of style thing. They're going to have different helmets on here, and their whole shtick is they kind of fold up like this to create little dinosaur heads. And this isn't really the super cool part, but I think the designs look kind of nice. Like you got this part here, the top of the head, you can see that's where like the mouth's supposed to be for the bottom there. And then there's a little button, it's basically like a one-click Ranger key, and then it falls out of your hand. That step's optional, but you know, I like to do it. But it's really satisfying to do that. Like, I like these way more than I thought I was going to. Like, I mean, I thought they were neat, but once I had them, I'm like, uh-oh. It's very dangerous putting them together because like I just really like that. It's like, wait, where's the button? There we go. It's just, I don't know, it's really satisfying. I really dig it. I really dig the design of it, like the way you have the shield here and then the sword going up and it duels as like the dinosaur head with the teeth, and then you have like the little knight in here. It's just, it's super cool, and they're pretty similar in terms of the core design, but you have like the different visor, obviously the different symbol here, the different style of sword on there, and obviously it's a different dinosaurs represented. You can see there that's Triceratops. Love you, Triceralots. No, I don't. But there's that. So yeah, these are super cool. Again, we'll check out the sounds once I'm able to get my hands on the changer and stuff, which should be in a couple days. You got its own individual weapon here for pink. They did a pretty good job of making it easy enough to have like the same core mold and able to change them to make them different, but not really breaking the bank with having to make them too different. I'm sure there'll be some as we go on. They're a little more different than others. But yeah, and as you can see from these, they're going to be the visors for the different modes. Like they each get a different mode, which is nice. But let's take a look at them individually real quick, and then we'll be doing, you know, transformations. So let's do Ankyloze first. We got our pink Ankyloze. Both of these, pink and blue, are smaller than I thought they'd be. I mean, again, like I kind of knew, but once you get them in person, they definitely feel a lot smaller. They don't really do anything. There's no wheels or anything, but you can see all the different Lego ports. This basically uses a Lego port system, and they come in different pieces. This tail can come off, but like, I mean, I suppose if you want to have this piece on its own, but like this little piece isn't meant to be used for snapping into anything, but you can see all the different possibilities and stuff. They do look kind of cheap just on their own, even when they're together a little bit, but I think that kind of makes sense just because of the way they come together. Triceratops here also, unfortunately mine has a bent sword nose. I'm going to be trying to fix that, but you'll be seeing this throughout the review, so when I get to formations, it's probably still going to be bent. I do dig the design of this with the longhorn nose, and like the way you can kind of see there's like a little red in the eye paint there. This almost looks like a second face, which is also kind of confusing. Confused me a couple times in transforming. But yeah, they both do look a little cheap. They're a little small, but they're fine. You got Tyramigo here, who I really do like his design. I feel like the toy looks a little weird with the proportions around here and stuff, and you can adjust a little bit if you want. These little cannon pieces here and these drill pieces here are all together in like a link when you get them, and then obviously they come out and you'll be able to see how that all works, and they can be adjusted and used everywhere. You can move the legs a little bit. There's a little button button here, in case I forget to mention it later, that you use to release it when you're transforming it. The tail will come off, and you can see all the little ports and possibilities everywhere. Again, I like his design. It does look a little cheap. I wish the gray plastic on these just looked a little bit better, and there's just something a little bit off about the way this looks to me personally as far as individual modes go. You can't open his head. You can open his whole head. You can open his mouth there, which is neat. But now we're going to start getting into transformation. Throughout the review, I'm going to be using a slightly different style of showing off transformation. I'll probably mention this at the end, but just let me know what you think. But let's go ahead and we'll get these guys out of the way and just show regular KishiRyuOh. Okay, so here we have KishiRyuOh all together as, well, himself, because he's just one piece together. But I do really like this design. I think it's pretty cool. It looks really cool in the footage, like it's really nimble. Like, unfortunately, you don't really get that here. It almost looks like these will bend, because there's like this little wheel bit here that looks like it's a hinge. But no, it's not articulated or anything like that at all. It would be nice if they included it, but I see why they didn't with the way that the gimmick works, you know, with all like the Lego-ness of it all. It would be hard to do. I feel like they could have maybe implemented something here in the arms, like maybe like a click joint so that it stayed, you know, stable when it needed to. Mainly just because it's so nimble in the show, you kind of want that. But again, I kind of understand why. And like I said, I do dig the design. I'm still a little bit iffy, not iffy, just I'm not too huge of a fan of us having this bit where we have red be the main base again, and then everything built off of it, just because I was kind of hoping for more traditional mech. And like, this is kind of weird having this, like, this is KishiRyuOh, but it's just red, like, being the base. But it's not unheard of to have, like, red as, like, the primary. Like, CB01 was a little bit like that. You know, Red Dragon Thunderzord and stuff like that. But I do like the design, even if I'm a little bit annoyed by some of the concepts. I really like the way that the visor looks, like I said when I was going over the key. This takes a little bit getting used to, but once you do, it's kind of fine. And obviously you can customize this mode any way you want. Like, it's nice that this stores on the back, so that's neat. But you could like put it here on the side, you could put this on the side, you could rearrange these any way you want. But pretty cool design. But let's go ahead and put it in its 3 Knights mode with all 3 of them together, which is kind of like the more, well, together combination. Okay, so there we have it in the 3 Knight mode, which is basically like, you know, Kyoryujin, except it looks 95% the same, except he's got fancy new weapons, and this is still bent, and it's really annoying me. I do like it. I think it looks cool. You know, oh, this is a little bit off. Sorry about that. But I think it looks neat, just like the other mode, and it looks even better like having it kind of in person. I do wish that it had its own unique helmet. Like, obviously, I know we're going to get to it in a minute. It will have unique helmets for the blue and pink formations, which does help, because it's like, okay, this is Red's formation, so that makes sense. But, like, in my head, this is, like, the quote-unquote main Megazord, so I just kind of wish that this formation had its own unique head, or maybe a piece that, you know, made it distinguished from just the standard Red mode. But that's really my only problem with it. Other than that, I do kind of like it. I just wish there was a little bit more something different to distinguish it from the regular mode, even though I know we're getting the blue and pink ones. Speaking of, now we're going to cut to checking out blue and pink's specific formations, as well as a couple other formations that it shows off in the booklet. Okay, so that is about it for most of the combinations they advertise. I'm sure there is and is going to be more, and you know, obviously is going to be more stuff to show off throughout the year as we get going. Hope you guys are okay with that format. It's a new format I'm going to be trying out on and off for various Mecha and Megazord reviews. Just let me know what you think. But overall, this is a super fun set. I have my little nitpicks with it. I think like parts of it do look a little cheap, but I think that inherently that makes kind of sense for what they're doing. But I think the Lego aspect is honestly fantastic. I mean, as you saw, just some of the combos they show off between the different night modes and you know, like the Amigo modes and stuff like that. There's a ton of combos they already give you, but a ton of things you can just do on your own. Like when I was messing around with it, practicing for the review, I was just found myself messing around with different combos, and there's a ton of playability there. What's super cool about that is that even if they don't have a big Fustercluck mecha at the end of the year, you can make your own. I'm gonna assume, unless they throw us a curveball and like one of the mechas doesn't use this system. I think that's super cool. So I think this has the most playability of mechas I've seen in a long time, and I can definitely recommend it for that. And you know, it's funny because also I was thinking in this mode, it's kind of weird that you have this hammer weapon on the shoulder and then the pink weapon is just Ankyloze face. But you know what? If I want to change that, I can change that. So that's super cool. So overall, even though they're not perfect, I do kind of dig the designs. Again, I'm not super on board with all the way they're used, but I think it's a lot of fun, and I think if you're even remotely interested in it, it's worth checking out. But anyway, until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and of course, climb the steps and ring that bell to get notifications for all my videos. Until next time, Dawson Rider, signing out.